This is LOA Recon with Good Vibe Coach Jeanette Ma, where we explore the ins and outs of conscious creation to manifest our favorite dreams come true. Let's have some fun together. Welcome and thank you for joining me for another episode. I'm not entirely sure what this one is called yet. Maybe it's something like a day in the life of a conscious creator or what it looks like to be a manifester in real life. I don't know for sure, but this started when I woke up the other day and realized that it was the beginning of a new month, and I remembered I had 3 friends who were in the process of moving that weekend, and each of them had a different struggle or challenge with it. One was mad that he was moving at all because of health issues he had to. Another was having trouble getting her utilities hooked up, and she was without heat and cold temperatures, and another friend was still putting the money together to get into her new place. And I felt concerned for each of them, like how hard it was emotionally for the friend who didn't even want to be moving. I felt trepidation for the other whose utility snafu made me wonder if she was really aligned with that place, or if she had mixed feelings about it and what that might lead to if she did. And then I just had straight up worry for the friend who needed a cash influx pronto in order to see her through to her dream come true. And in the old days, it would have created a slight tension in the back of my mind that just went unaddressed. I would just live with it because, hello, it's life. What are you going to do? You got to deal with it. That kind of stress is normal. That's what life is. And I would have thought about what could I do to help, like call them, offer some emotional support, let them know they're not alone, that I care, maybe find a way to offer something besides emotional support. But as a savvy creator now, I know better. I know the worst thing I can do to help someone is to worry about them. It doesn't help them, and it isn't good for me either. Now I know that feeling bad isn't normal, or at least it doesn't have to be. Not when I mean it, when I quote Wayne Dyer quoting Abraham, that nothing is more important than that I feel good. Because when I care about how I feel, I'm no longer willing to tolerate feeling bad for any reason. Even when my favorite dog dies, I'm just not willing to feel bad for any reason. All right. Now, I say that it's partly a reminder and partly an affirmation because certainly there are times when I can still do that feel bad routine for longer than I like to admit. Like that same day when I found myself imagining how long my parents have left. My mom had just had a birthday, and I noticed myself trying to remember how long did my grandparents live, and how are my parents' siblings doing, and what does that mean for my parents? And what would my brother and I do if my parents got to the point where they needed some real help? I've got some clients going through that. It's challenging. And just like that, there I am, imagining the stress of figuring out who would my mom live with or who my dad. And I remember how hard it was for my mom's siblings when their mom needed to live with someone. It caused a lot of drama among the sisters. And I'm wondering, would my brother and I do that? We wouldn't, would we? But there I am imagining it. Like, do we have it in us to turn on each other? Because our relationship's been, kind of off and on over the years. How would we handle this? And then I realize these are not light, uplifting thoughts that lead me to the outcomes I want. That's me pre-paving what seems like could be a typical experience for a lot of people who don't have the financial or emotional means to navigate a scenario like that because it felt bad, and that's what tipped me off. But I'm doing it again. I'm imagining what I don't want. You know what? For Christmas last year, my boyfriend got me this LED mini whiteboard that I still have written on it, imagine something good, as a reminder to myself because that's how often I don't. I got to remind myself, imagine something good, girlfriend. So I do. I imagine what I want instead. A long, healthy life for my parents, and my mind goes to good reasons to believe in that outcome. And I practice that vision another time or two for good measure, just to get a good foothold in it, just to get some good traction in it, because I care about how I feel. And I know that my thoughts are creating my reality. And I know that anything's possible that I'm willing to put my mind to. All I have to do is be willing to imagine what I want instead of what I don't want. How could it be any more simple? And then in another random moment in the day, I noticed myself wanting harmony and ease in my household again. We've been missing that since we adopted a dog from the shelter who was at risk of euthanasia, and she turns out to be cat aggressive. She's been in professional full-time rehab for it. She's back home with us again. And that's creating a tension in our household because she is under lock and key at all times. at all times. And that's not joyful for any of us. Not for her, not for the cats, not for me, not for my boyfriend, not for the other dogs. We're just like constantly on guard. Okay, I'm exaggerating a little bit there. It's not constant, and it's mostly my boyfriend who's in charge of it, since I'm the one that the cats go to for whatever they want. So he's the one dealing with the dog. But it just feels like it's cost us our peace and harmony, it feels like. Can you feel me? Kind of wistful about it, kind of yearning. I realize I'm in a state of wanting. I'm focused on what's missing. I'm wishing that it were different than it is. I want things to change so that I can relax and feel the peace again. And that's my cue, savvy creator that I am, that I gotta go first. Whatever I want, it isn't happening while I'm in a different state. I have to go there first, because wanting is not allowing. In order to have what I want, I gotta be a vibrational match to it. So I remember, I imagine, I conjure, I immerse myself in the feeling of what I want, which is that all is well here again, that everyone gets along, that everyone is trustworthy, that we all like each other and enjoy each other, that peace reigns here, that we're all relaxed and enjoying and appreciative. I can feel that. And that's all it takes for me to be the cooperative component Abraham's always reminding us to be in order to let our dreams come true. Universe knows how to bring it together. It's not our job to figure out how. All I gotta do is find a way to feel now how I will feel when I have what I want. That's it. So I can exhale the tension. I can release the stress that I was holding in my shoulders and my jaw. I can even feel it around my eyes. You know what? That's why my dad, when he started meditating, man, he looked like 10 years younger after he'd done it for a while, because it was releasing all that eye tension that a lot of times we just take for granted. Anyway, I know this is a better way than continuing to want or long for or miss or blame or regret or any other feeling that might come up when I'm focused on what I don't want instead of what I do want. I know how to pick up the right end of the stick, as Abe would say. And then when I remember what it is I need to do that day, I feel the tension creeping back in. How am I going to get it all done? What happens if I don't? But I recognize that tension as a sign that my mind has once again wandered away from what my true self knows, because any thought I think that doesn't feel good means Source sees it differently, and I aspire to align with Source, so I rethink it. I remember that it doesn't matter what I get done, it only matters how I feel. I'm here to enjoy, not to produce. Putting pressure on myself to get it all done doesn't feel good, so I let it be okay that whatever happens, happens. It's going to be fine. No one cares. And in the absence of that stress, oh my gosh, who knew that it turns out I not only get a lot done, but I enjoy the process. It's so magic when we take that tension, that pressure off. And then later on in the day, I think about how someone close to me is trying to make me feel bad for something that I did. She did not approve of an action that I took that matters to her. And it's an action that I stand by. It was the right thing according to my guidance. But she's doing her best to make me feel bad about it. She wants me to pay the price for earning her disapproval. I won't go into detail about how she's going about that, but y'all know the ways. It's guilt trips, it's silent treatments, it's the withholding of love and affection. And I feel it. I feel the absence of it. But then I remember that nothing is more important than how I feel. And just because someone else wants me to feel bad doesn't mean I have to. I stand by my inspired actions, and I don't need her to agree or support or change her mind in order for me to have peace in my heart. I can pick that right here no matter what. I can let it be okay that she doesn't like it. She's entitled to her own opinion. She doesn't have to feel good about me or what I did. That's not my business. If she wants to be mad, more power to her. What's my business is how I feel. And that's always going to be related to what I'm thinking. So, she wants me to feel bad. That's okay. Maybe it makes her feel better if she directs all this angry energy my way. Maybe that's her way of feeling better over feeling disempowered. Who knows? I don't know. All I know is I can choose to feel better. I can feel good even when someone else doesn't want me to. And look at me, there I am, living free and peaceful in the United States of America in 2025. It's still happening here. I know I'm in charge of me. I know how to feel better, and I choose that over and over and over again. And then I do what feels better over and over and over again. This is the LOA way. This is all we ever have to do. This is what it looks like when we're walking our talk and using our powers and practicing what we know, right? I know I'm not the only one. And on those occasions when we're not, you know what? That's okay too, because we're getting better at it every day. And every chance to practice this just helps us become better masters of vibration management. It's a daily practice, and that's okay. Every moment, life gives us a chance to decide who we're going to be. A savvy creator who knows that they create their own reality, or a stymied muggle who's stuck with the hand that life dealt them. I know which one I'm choosing. And when I find myself acting like life won't let me have what I want, or like someone else is ruining it for me, or whatever routine has me off my best LOA game, I just dust myself off and I remember it's never too late to change my mind. And that changes everything. Just like that. That's all it is. This is what it looks like when we're walking our talk. And I know I'm not the only one doing this, so thanks for being good company out there and engaging life in a more empowered way. All right, I hope you got some inspiration from this one. Thanks for listening and happy manifesting.